This conference will now be recorded.
Your associate's first day in the office. And my initial talking points are the welcome, the workspace, introducing to each other, the staff and him back or her back and forth, the paperwork, training manual, first assignments, production, and end of day reporting, right? And so first day in the office, I think it's important to have either a pre-recorded or a face-to-face welcome from you, right? Based both in excitement and in mission, not misham, and given a history of the practice and, you know, the opportunity to have the impact that we want to expand and have in the community, the opportunity for the doc, him or her, to grow professionally, financially, and all the things that we've talked about. Again, going back over the commitment, really anchoring down their schedule. Like any employee, once they switch from an interviewee and a prospect to an actual employee, the real world hits. And, you know, so if you've pre-agreed upon time that they need off beforehand to review that, you know, first day next week, Chris, right, to review not only their work schedule, but, you know, the end of year schedule and, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, what the office will be doing, what expectations you have for them. And we all should be thinking about that just outside of associates as well, is you should have your end of year schedule in place and even the marketing that goes with that, by the way, like a toy drive or a food drive for Thanksgiving or Christmas, that's coming up. And again, you know, if you're all of you are still actively in the practice, I was able to create a video welcome in the offices. If I brought in an associate into a third office or a satellite office for them to watch, so that to get them settled into the workspace, their desk and computer, to run through all the equipment, right? So each adjusting table has its own special quirks. The x-ray machine, the computer in the x-ray room or the dark room if you're still processing films, as well as their, you know, whether you're putting them in a private office or a shared space. You know, in my main office, ultimately, the doctor's office, you know, I had myself and two associates in there for multiple years at the end, and we shared a space. If you have to cram them into a side workstation, that's fine as well. But, you know, to have them oriented and, you know, make sure they understand how everything in the office is working. Staff introductions. So I would prefer that he or she go around and introduce themselves again. They probably, they may or may not have met each staff member prior to this point. So to have an introduction, I Googled the term introduce yourself to a new team, and where am I? And, you know, a billion things came up. I happen to have liked this. Hmm.
We can't hear anything.
Okay, thanks. All right. So anyhow, you can hear me?
Yes.
All right. Sorry about that. So you can look her up, Adriana Girdler. It wasn't brain surgery, but I thought it was interesting. And so it was just an introduction. You know, have them connect to people, to each staff member, and um, it's a worthwhile step to take. To make sure that you have a fully executed work agreement that is countersigned, we've signed it, they've signed it, you've digitized it. It's part of, you may also keep the paper, you give them a paper copy, maybe also a digital copy of the countersigned agreement. Keep your digitized copy in the cloud somewhere so that you have it forever. A paper version can also be in their employee file, but I would probably also have all this stuff digital as well. Their application, any interview material that you have from them, the signed work agreement. The next step is going to be to give them the policy manual, and so I want that, both the cover page or the end page signed, as well as each page initialed, and then any other paper, all the governmental paperwork, the W-2 with withholdings and stuff like that, right? So we're going to give them the policy manual. Again, you probably haven't gone over all of this stuff, but you've gone over some of it, but it's important for them to understand it. So again, I want it signed, each page initialed. I want to review with them to check for understanding, right? And so, to make sure they understand what the sensitive stuff is, but also the red flags, if they come in drunk or high, or they're hitting on patients, or sharing private health information, or whatever other red flags that you have, that it's going to be an immediate termination, how they should request time off, and anything else that you want to make sure that you review. That the internet, during office hours, right? The internet should be used for office business and all the other stuff. Again, have this part of your digitized record. The first assignment, and so this is something else, Chris, that you could give for their first day, is I give them an assignment to show up on their first day, and typically it's my pre-consultation statement. The first thing that I do after escorting a new patient back to the consultation room, where we sit down and we're one-to-one with the patient. And so I want to see how they do on that for multiple reasons. One, did they follow my instructions to work on it? How are they in internalizing a script? Are they excited about the process, right? Or did they not even look at it and just show up 2 minutes before their start time, and you didn't think you were going to call them out on it? The other thing that I would do is, during their first day, is I would send them out to the nearest pharmacy, which can't be that far, and to have them take the picture of the scripts waiting to be picked up, and to have that conversation with them when they come back with it, about the actual individuals that are represented with all of those prescriptions, right? And what value we might bring to those people. And, it's, again, the real impact of patient-based care. So employees will do what we allow employees to do. And so if we can set the standard and then hold them accountable, it's going to work better than if we bury our heads in the sand, or we don't. And so, of all the speakers that I've ever seen. This guy had an impact on me as well, right? And so this guy's called Hunter Lott, and he is a HR expert. And so his 3 basic trainings are, where's his basic trainings? There we go. Here we go. So he'll review your policy book, interviewing for success, which he has some things to do, fire fast, discipline, documentation, and termination. And then his 3rd one is wage and hour. And I've had a couple of people ask me about this as well, right? And so this is actually a gray area with a salaried employee, right? And so whether they're entitled to overtime but there's some good stuff in here for our CAs as well. And so he's a resource that I just thought you should know about. So the first assignment, training materials. And so we give them their first level checklist, whether we're calling it level 0 or level 1. I want to review each step on the training checklist. I want to set time expectations. I want to go over how they should get checked out on each step. And I think that that's another level of training that maybe we can relook at to apply better than we have in the past, which is, they say they're ready for day 1, then, we actually test them and give them a pass fail on day 1. Right? You could break it down for each individual step, like again, the pre-consultation, the consultation, the post-consultation, the pre-exam, the examination, right? Or you could do big chunks of it. But we should be checking them off on each item, or at least each bigger item on the checklist, and how I want them to report daily what they've done on their training, which is, I'll get to in a second. First day, we want to get them producing, right? And so we want to be able to introduce them and introduce them to patients. And so just in general, for patients that we don't intend for them to adjust primarily even, right? They can be following and part of their, watching their 2, 3, 4, 500 office visits as part of their training. We can introduce them. This is, Dr. Mark. He's our new doctor here on staff. He comes from wherever he comes from, or if he's right out of school. And, he's an expert in your type of care, Mrs. Jones. And so while I'll continue, of course, to be working on you, he may be working on you as well. So you're going to be getting the best out of both of us. And I guess I would drop the word may, either in general or particularly for patients that we intend on shifting, right? To, be able to have them, actually take x-rays. And so if you had 2 or 3 new patients on day 1, he's back. So again, as part of my how to train anything, they have a written material on how to do it. They watch somebody doing it. They participate and help while we're doing it. We help them while they do it. We watch them do it. We check them off on them do it. Then they're good to go. And then we just monitor it ongoingly. And so if we can get them, if you had 3 new patients on their first day, by the 3rd one, like they should be able to take the x-rays, right? Going through all the paperwork, right? And so for me, I wanted the associate to do kind of as much of the paperwork and soap notes as quickly as possible. And so get them right to work on that. And again, in the beginning, I'm going to be more, I'm going to review it with a bigger magnifying glass and to correct whatever errors they make. So ultimately there will be fewer and my reviewing will go down. Doing exams or re-exams, even adjusting people, and having some marketing done on day 1. And so if there was an event that was scheduled right on day 1, a talk, a screening, a health fair, that would be great. Doing some online video, right? Doing the here's our new doctor video that can go right into social media, right out as a mass email to the team, to our biggest list. You know, them doing some cold calls to work on events or whatever it is, but to have them understand that marketing is part of the job and generating new patients and making that happen. End of day reporting. Again, I think this is a step that we can work on to improve. I would like to see a daily journal, like a diary entry. And I can add Megan somewhere to this. I'll post this recording. Their training checklist, again, a daily check-in on what they got done. A marketing report, all report of findings paperwork, right? The care summary where we recommended care with the circled, you know, what did the patient respond and what did they do? The map for the patient and the financial agreement, and to enroll them in their daily 6 right from the beginning. And so, like, you may have other items that you want to see here as well, but you know, I want to get, and do you want it in an email? Do you want it on paper? Do you want it face to face? But how do you want the end of day reporting to be? And so we put all of this in place. And again, you know, discipline can always be lighter. It's harder to go back and to become heavier. And so we want to set everything in place right from day one. And so those are my thoughts on day one. I guess I would ask for feedback as well as your guys' thoughts on day one. Dr. Steve Silverson, what's your takeaway from that, and what might you add to that list?
My takeaway is that's a great overview. And as you said, I think that this is not just for this is for all staff. And work on this and get more of this dialed in.
Yeah, thanks. That's a good one. Mike DeMasi.
Not having any associates yet, it is a great guide for me, and I do something for the regular staff, so that this is an expansion of that. And I think it's going to just add to the regular staff stuff for me also.
All right, thank you. I'm going to conclude the recording so that we're back.